Hey y'all, welcome back to Probing the Truth. Welcome back to today's video. If you are new here, I would love for you to click that subscribe button down below. Be sure and tap that notification bell beside it so that you will be notified of all my new videos. And if you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. In today's video, I want to talk about ways that you can go ahead and be prepared and be ahead of the next Great Depression. Everyone knows that with everything that's going on, there is a good chance that this country could see another Great Depression. The way we live our lives now is completely different than the way that they were living during the Great Depression. We are a use and throw away society. We are more of a I want instead of I need. And if a Great Depression was to happen, the way we live now is going to be drastically changed from the way that we will have to live then to get through it. So some of my advice is to take a lot of the old ways and learn how to do the skills and learn the things that they did and how they lived back then so that you will be able to do that. So one of the things is they didn't just use something and toss it away. And I'm not talking about like your plastic bottles going to the recycling bin. I'm talking about just because something doesn't serve its original purpose does not mean that it can't be used for something else. One way that I already do this is something like bed sheets. If you have sheets that they're getting old, they're getting the little knots in them, they got holes or tears in them or something like that, don't throw those away. Those can easily be cut up and be used for rags. I've even used stuff like that. You can cut out squares. You can make your own baby wipes if need be. Your cleaning wipes. It can be used for many different purposes without throwing it away, because we've already seen with a lot of the shortages that's happening, you can't run to the store and grab paper plates or paper cups or napkins or paper towels like you could before. There's a major shortage going on, and that could continue to get worse, or they could continue to go up so high that you can't even afford them to get. So if you have this stuff around, you can have reusable napkins, reusable cleaning cloths, baby wipes, all that kind of stuff, and you don't have to worry about trying to find it in the stores or if it's even going to be there for you to get at the price. So that is just something right there. Try to look at an item right now, and before you throw that item out, see if there's something that that item could be used for other than what it was originally used for. Another thing is live with less. Right now, we are used to, if you want something, you go and get it, and it's available right then, right there. And it doesn't matter, you can have as much of something as you want. But there's coming a time, just like it has already started with the shortages, that a lot of stuff is not there to go and get. So you have to get less of it. You know, if you was used to getting 5, sometimes you might be able to only get 2 of them now. So you've already had to start living with less on some items. So that's something right there. If it's not a need and you don't have to have it, you can live without it. So the want versus need will come into play with a lot of stuff. You know, do I need this or do I want this? Before you spend your money on it, you know, before you bring it into your house, is it something that you have to have, or could you replace that and it's a want and you could get something that you do need with that money? So we're all going to have to start using our money and our products wisely. I mean, some stuff that we just throw away could easily serve another purpose. We could save money from not having to spend it on other stuff because we could reuse something that we have already spent money on. A lot of stuff is like washing powders. A lot of people use way more washing powders than you actually have to have. So you can cut back on that kind of stuff. On your dish liquid, you don't have to have full strength dish liquid. You can cut that with water, take it, shake it up, and use less. So it's just stuff like that that we're going to have to really think about how to make each thing last longer, so that we have to spend less on it. It is less that you will have to stockpile if you are stockpiling stuff. And if it comes down to it and there's rations and things like that and you can't get but certain amounts of stuff, you can make that stuff last longer. I mean, all shampoos, body washes, anything that we're using right now that is just so handy for us to go ahead and go get, we can easily cut down on how much of that we use, start rationing that out, and we can make that go farther. which means that anything that we have stocked up on right now will last us longer in a situation where we have to have it and maybe we can't go get it again. Learn skills. Learn everything that you can possibly do, like cooking from scratch, growing your own vegetables. There is no guarantee that washing machines and dryers will be going. So have you a clothesline, have you a way to dry your clothes inside, and have you a way to dry your clothes outside. If you don't already have that stuff put up, purchase the stuff where you could put it up in an emergency situation where you need it. All of that stuff is just practical, everyday stuff that we do here that we really take for granted and don't think about. If we can't flip the switch on, I can't take those clean clothes and dry my dryer. I don't have my dryer. In the old days, they didn't have washing machines, they had rug boards. We're going to have to learn to live without power possibly, or use less if the cost of it continues to rise. Because I know in our area, the prices on power, the prices on water, the power is just skyrocketing regular on the cost of it. I mean, every time you get a power bill, it seems like maybe you're trying to use less, but it's not going down. I've had many of people say this: I'm using less and my power bill's not going down. That's because your power rate is actually going up. So even though you're using less, you're still paying more for what you are using. So we're all going to have to learn that maybe one day we can't afford to have that power, or maybe that power just won't be available. Whether it is from a power grid down or not enough employees to keep it going. I mean, we're seeing a lot of stuff right now in our area closing early, or some of it's not even opening up. And we're talking about just regular businesses because they say they're shorthanded and don't have enough staff to work. So they're closing earlier, which means you have less time to go and get products that you need, or they just aren't opening at all, or some services aren't available because they only have so many people to run one area and they don't have, people to run another area. So be prepared, honestly, to live with less for sure, because we are already seeing that happen right now with the food shortages, with the product shortages, with staff shortages that are already happening. We are already having to learn to adapt. Walmart used to be in our area open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It closed, I think, on Christmas. And it might have closed on Thanksgiving. I can't remember on that. But it was like open every single day except 1 or 2 days out of the whole year. 24 hours a day, you could go anytime you want to. That's not been like that for a long time. I mean, it opens in the morning and it closes, I believe ours closes at 10 o'clock at night. So, I mean, you've got less time now to do what you used to do. So things are already changing to where we are living differently than we did just a couple of years ago. And it hasn't picked back up. It hasn't straightened back up. Things are honestly just getting worse. I mean, it's even on the news about more food shortages. I mean, so when it makes it to mainstream news and they start telling you about it, and it's not coming from an alternative site, you know that there's a problem, because that's the last place usually that they tell you anything like that's happening, because they don't want you to get prepared. Thank you for watching this video. Stay safe, God bless you, and keep prepping.